Crystal active. Nerd Rage Renegades episode 156 loading. Talking some comics. Back to the good old days.
Nerd Rage Renegades.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another week here with the Nerd Rage Renegades podcast. Spin, Chief, and Crystal here. Chief, how you doing?
Doing all right.
You know, I now have, I figured it out. I can now program Crystal on my phone, Chief.
Yeah. So I've heard. I've heard that she gets around. I've heard she kind of gets around for an AI.
Are you saying she's easy? Is that what you're saying? She's an easy
I don't want to make her mad. She controls the doors and the oxygen.
No, but my phone has a voice activation where you put in a phrase and it's supposed to bring up like the little like search thing that listens to you, and I set it as Crystal. And oh man, it has been one hell of a weekend, dude. I had to work out of town this weekend, and it was just like non-stop on the go, my friend.
Yeah, you thought you were going to be bored, though, man. You told me before you left that I was going to have to be around. And I was sitting there, like, looking at my phone, like, hey, I haven't heard from him in, like, 2 days.
No, I was busy, man. I was busy. So I drove where I had to be on Friday because I was working out of town. And, of course, Friday night I go out with some coworkers, had some wings. I had me some wings, Chief.
Hot? Did you get hot?
No, I did not get the hot wings. I got the sweet barbecue and the teriyaki. Had to get and when we got there, it was happy hour.
So I take it you imbibed on the happy hour then.
I imbibed on a little Oktoberfest. I did. It's the season. I had to have a
good time. And
it was $4 appetizers.
Hey,
so I've splurged.
Can't beat that.
I splurged a little bit this weekend on my diet. I had me some mozzarella sticks, because you gotta have them mozzarella sticks. They so good.
After at a bar.
Oh yeah. Then Saturday, I was talking to you Saturday. I read comics and ate some food in my room. Read quite a few Marvel comics to catch up on some of the Marvel stuff that's been going on. And
that's good. I haven't read anything more past Inhumans versus X-Men, really. I have read stuff after that, because I went back and I read the Superior Octopus arc for Amazing Spider-Man. And then I also I went back and caught up on Unworthy Thor that I hadn't read, which was a fucking awesome, amazing series, by the way.
I've caught up on X-Men Gold, which I told you over Messenger. X-Men Gold, man, seriously, it's like a return to form of like 90s X-Men comics. I mean,
I might be willing to give that a try. I'm not a Bendis fan these days, man.
It's not Bendis. It's not.
I know. Well, that's why I asked you, and I said who's doing it, because I don't even remember who's doing it. That's how far out on Marvel.
Well, okay.
I've been so about Rebirth. I'm almost ashamed to say that Rebirth has taken up almost every bit of my reading forever.
Okay, X-Men Gold is being written by Guggenheim, and then X-Men Blue is our buddy Cullen Bunn.
Okay, so Bendis has nothing to do with it.
Bendis has nothing to do, and I think James Robinson is writing Cable. So yeah, Bendis is nowhere touching the X-Men right now. Bendis' hands are not in the X-Men pot as of this time and place.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with Marvel. I mean, well, with both of the big two, it's weird because, I mean, you gotta like kind of stick. You kind of gotta write out the bad points, because I mean, there's times where DC's been horrible, and there's times when Marvel's just been horrible. But I mean, even in those horrible times, people know these eras of Marvel and DC to be horrible. Even through those times, there's brilliant books that come out that and the whole like era of comics at that time gets a bad rep. But I mean, there's like New 52, for example, like the Court of Owls story from Snyder, the Death of the Family story from Snyder. There was brilliant stuff that came out of the New 52, but everybody gives it shit. So I might be being a little too harsh on Marvel. I'm sure there's still good writers there. There's still good artists there.
All right, so you got Guggenheim on X-Men Gold, Cullen Bunn's on X-Men Blue, Robinson's on Cable, Charles Soule is on Astonishing X-Men, and then I think Greg Pak is on Weapon X. So yeah, Bendis is nowhere in there, but I'm really liking X-Men Gold because, like I said, it feels like 90s X-Men. So the arcs have been at most like 2 issues, maybe 3 tops. There's not been 7 issues or 8 issues to get a story done. They've been honing them in 2 issues, and
that's what they need to do. Well, Marvel was the one that said no new big events for like.
Yeah.
So when did they say?
I don't know, like a while, but
like 18 months or something. They weren't going to do any events.
So, like X-Men Gold, you've had. What I really liked about it is they've had Sentinels, they had Nimrod, they had the Executioner, they had they just finished Omega Red.
So that's what they need to do. They need to go back and revisit, not rehash shit, but I mean revisit some of the old characters that they have, like the way like Hickman used to do, like shit like that, like bring like an old obscure character back into continuity.
They are going to be doing a crossover X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue with Mojo coming up soon, going back to the Mojo verse. So that's going to be really interesting because anytime Mojo.
Didn't Mojo die? I thought Mojo died.
There's been tons of Mojo. No, I mean Mojo. We found. I mean, well, I don't know if I really don't know if I consider the most recent Howard the Duck series canon. I really don't know.
I don't think so, because I don't know. It seemed like he had a deeper meaning to the original 616 than he seems. Like he's like disjointed from this, in the way that like Red Wolf was disjointed from the regular Marvel continuity.
Well, that they kind of threw Howard into with the whole Hellcat and She-Hulk, trying to go back to being a lawyer type thing, and then they were like, oh well, Mojo has been like his entire existence. Mojo's been kind of like pulling the strings and shit, and then they had to do this whole thing where there's like these aliens that are basically the writer and the artist are like these aliens that have been controlling Howard's story, and it was really weird. It was not what and then they had Beverly actually has like superpowers now, but they never told us exactly what power she has, and they canceled the book. And there was like the not the Infinity Gauntlet, but the Adequate Gauntlet or something like that. I mean, it was weird, man, and it wasn't like and I bought all of them. I mean, there was even one where Howard ended up getting like the power cosmic and was like the Silver Duck Surfer for a little bit, and it was to me that's not Howard. Howard he would just fall into these weird shit, like. He goes with Beverly and sees a kung fu movie, ends up getting in a fight with a guy, and then has to learn quack fu to save these people. And it all stems from he went to see a martial arts movie, or they're traveling, they get stuck in this house, and the house has like some type of crazed monster in it. And I mean, it was always he never looked for trouble. Trouble found him, and that was the main thing. This one, he's a private eye, and it's like I still don't know how he became a private eye when last we knew he was a taxi driver in Cleveland, and now he's in New York. And I mean, I don't think they told it. I don't think they told us in the Max series or the Media Duckling series. I'd have to go back and read them, but it was really, really like I don't know. It's just weird. But I read those, and then I read the newest issue of Thor. The ongoing saga of the War Thor, and
I'm not caught up on that. I still got to get my books from the shop this week. So I'm gonna have like probably 3-4 weeks worth of books. But I've been catching up on all the shit that I haven't read. So man, I'm almost like completely caught up with the rebirth on everything.
The Warthor took the fight to Cinder, the daughter of Surtur.
Yeah, I gotta catch up. I started reading that, and it is good. And man, Jason Aaron, anything he writes is good. So I'm gonna continue reading. I put a few things back on my pull list that I wasn't getting for Marvel that now I am getting. And especially, I made sure that I'm getting Punisher now because I got to get that. What is it? 218, I think it is.
Yeah. The where he gets the armor.
Yeah. I got to get that. I gotta read the War Machine, Frank Castle. I gotta hear about that.
But like I said, I mean, right now, as far as Marvel goes, X-Men has just been where it's at for me. There's been so much good stuff in X-Men, and what I love is
They act like it's like a cohesive team of like X-Men that that like aren't trying to kill each other. They're like
so X-Men Gold it's Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler.
And it's just like that. Sometimes there's too much drama in the X-Men for me. You know what I mean? They could get wrapped up in the individual stories too much rather than the team fighting for the right to survive. Like the original point of the book, to find mutants and to ensure mutant survival and try to make peace with mankind.
Yeah.
And then the individual drama, as the book got more complicated, more characters came along, and there's a lot of drama going on.
Well, this one is good because the X-Men Gold, the core team, it's Nightcrawler, Storm, Kitty Pryde, Colossus, Old Man Logan, and Prestige, who's Rachel Summers. That's your core team. And yeah, every once in a while, like 2 issues Gambit showed up, or one of the other younger X-Men may show up for a panel or 2. But other than that, that's your core team. It's almost basically the if you really think about it, it's almost the giant-size X-Men, but just add in Kitty Pryde and Rachel Summers. But it's Nightcrawler, Storm, Colossus, and Wolverine.
Well, that's cool.
In X-Men Blue, of course, it's the time-displaced X-Men.
Yeah.
The original. Then you add in the old.
See, I really liked that when that first happened. That's another thing in like the Marvel Now and shit that came out a little while back. That I thought that all new X-Men or whatever it was really good.
Yeah, in that book, it's like I said, it's your time displaced original X-Men. Then you have Magneto's in it, and they just added Danger and Polaris. And there was a in the tie-ins to Secret Empire, really good fight between Havoc and Polaris.
Nice.
And a really good story arc during that. The White Queen, Emma Frost, she kidnaps the younger Cyclops and is doing her psychic JoJo on him to try to turn him into her Cyclops.
You know what? They may end up killing off young Cyclops for that purpose, to bring back Scott Summers back into the fold of the Marvel Universe, which I wouldn't mind at all. That would be kind of a cool thing to do, but because I see a lot of people. I see why they didn't like all new X-Men. I thought it was kind of cool just because I thought the story was good, and the premise of it essentially is that Hank McCoy was dying, and he wanted to bring his younger self from the past to the future. I think to see if they could figure out a way to stop this thing he was dying from or something. And
no. It was that he brought them because he wanted them to see what Scott became. So they wouldn't, he wanted.
Okay, but he was dying, right? He had some kind of weird disease,
something like that.
And I thought he was also his younger self was going to research with him on how to stop him from dying. But okay. It was that's when the Cyclops was all like revolutionary and like hidden out with the main title, Uncanny X-Men was Cyclops and Magneto and Emma Frost and Magic, and who else was with them? I think that was essentially their core team, and then they had a bunch of kids that they picked
the Stepford Cuckoos were with them.
Yeah.
And there was that one I really liked. What was her name? she had like the black and white hair, and she was it Tempest? She could like stop time for a little bit. I really liked that character, but they haven't done haven't done anything.
Yeah,
with it. You know
that's when they got gold balls. She stopped time, and like
Yeah.
all the balls are like floating